Five, four, three, two, one. Hello, friends. This is Michael here with California Travel Videos, and welcome to another show on our interviews that we're doing. This is my second one, and hopefully I'm hitting the ground running. I hope you all are having a great day. Thanks for being over here today, and let's see just who we've got in the house. So, MoBang, I see you're up there somewhere. I've got a link down at the bottom. If you don't have it, you can go ahead and come on in. The water is fine, and let's see who we've got here. We've got Ray is here. Howdy, Ray. How you doing today, bro?
What's going on, buddy? Thank you for having me here.
You are so happy to have you. We're going to have a good time today. And I tell you, the more I spend looking and researching about you, the more I admire you. My hat is off to you, bro.
Thank you.
I thought I'd wear something a little like, something a little pizzazzy. You've got a lot of class in your life. So what do you think? A little red, white, and blue?
I like it. Looking good, buddy. Looking good.
Thank you. And it looks like, Tim, you are there. And he says, looking forward to it. So you can go ahead and click the link. I think it's towards the bottom of the chat. And I can put it again if you need me to. But yeah, come on up when you're ready. And we'll see who else we got here for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. And Susan, thank you so much for being our most famous mod of all times. Awesome job that you always do. And thank you for being there. And if you haven't already, you need to go over to their channel and check them out. I think they're doing, is it 2 days a week or 3 days a week now? Sue, why don't you kind of give us a little bit more pitch on what's your latest? Sometimes, I'll wake up at like 5 or 6 in the morning and, you guys are wired. I haven't had any of my fluids yet in the morning. It's like, but it's a good way to wake me up. So it gets the blood flowing, doesn't it, Ray?
That's true. That is true. I always wake up. I'm like, oh, they're live. I got to wake up. Where's my coffee?
Exactly. And Ray, what's your morning drink? You're having, it's kind of a custom brew. I think I remember looking at one of your videos, and a lot of people you may not know, he has more than a van. He has a studio in Southern California. And I think you've got kind of a rig that you have set up there. Do you take the stuff out of your van when you do it in the morning, or how does that work for you?
No, my storage unit is all pretty much self-contained. So there's a generator in there. There's a kitchen set up. There's a studio in there. There's an office space and all my hobbies and good stuff. And so when I get there in the morning, about 4:45 in the morning, I just pull out the generator, start brewing some fresh organic coffee, and get my day started.
Wow. Did I hear 4:45?
4:45. So every morning, especially during the summer. During the summer, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. During the wintertime, because it's so cold or it's cooler, I'll wake up at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm bright and early every day.
Wow. We'll get to your interview a little bit later, but it makes me wonder, were you in the military?
No, I should have been, though. I should have been.
Yeah, I mean, you're a hiker, runner, and hey, look who's here. Tim's here. How do you do there, bro?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. And, I know that it's so easy for me to get distracted. Say prayers for me. I'm sure Grace is probably watching from somewhere in the house. She's got some chores right now, but I'm sure she'll chip in. But yeah, I spent not as much time in Vietnam as you did, but let's see, 1971, I guess, was the year I was over there. So we'll have some chitty chat to talk about on that if you want.
Sure.
Good. We've got a great channel. We'll start about another 10 minutes and get him kind of going. But chip on in, guys, as we go through this. Let's go ahead and say hi to Richard. Good to have you here today. Hoping life is treating you well wherever you find yourself. Let us know what you're at, what's going on for you guys. And so I see we got some new comments coming in here. And Captain Jack, hey, had a great show with Papa Drew. And, I've always wanted to spend more time with Papa Drew, and I tell you, Q21 courtside, it came and went so fast, but he had with Grand Adventures, they had some great evening shows there, and they gave some actual training for us YouTubers, and he's a very generous person, has been kind of doing the coordinator for several years. And can you imagine with COVID going around, and some people are kind of concerned, some people are like, hey, I'll be okay. And so, he just had a great balancing act. I think he does a lot of juggling, but my hat is off to him also, and all the rest of the team that helped to make that possible. That was a lot of fun. And Yeah, it's just kind of like, I'd love to get to Mayberry. It's like, gosh, 3,000 miles away, maybe Michigan. Huh? So I don't know. How about you guys? Do you ever get enticed to have some of these big meetups or not?
I so wanted to go this last January. So was looking forward to courtside for the RTR, for the meetup, and to meet all you guys on the road. That was a big plan for I don't know, 7 months or so, right?
Yeah.
But then I just couldn't do it. I just felt guilty, and I have this conscience that's over.
My wife the same way. Yeah.
But you know what? This year is going to happen. It's going to happen this year. So.
Excellent. Yeah. And I know you've got some big road trips, and we'll talk in a little bit about Tim and your road trips. You just kind of like, you're a moving target, and they say they're hard to hit. So we'll get talking about yours in a little bit also. So Lucky Dog, there's Susan. Thank you, Susan, and appreciate that. Be sure to check out their channels. And yeah, they mostly, and in fact, one thing that's really special that Bob does is he gets in these, I don't know, is it like 18 wheelers? I'm not sure how many wheels, where he's got this visual truck. It's a artificial intelligence, which are animation, and he just leaves it pedal to the metal. When I'm watching, I think, Bob, be careful. But he does it, man. He's good. I don't know if it was in the RV, though. I might want to sit way in the back seat and be really strapped in. But a lot of fun. I certainly enjoy when he does that. Van Vita Travel, hey, good to have you here. Hope things going well in fact, if you all don't know about it, VanLife with Gina comes after me, and then the hour after that, you're going to be right in the hot seat again, aren't you, Ray? You're the man of not the hour, the man of several hours.
It's going to be a busy night. We're going to have some fun.
So that's at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Oh gosh, I think it's 10 o'clock, I guess, Eastern time, somewhere in between if you're in Mountain or Central. So yeah, be sure to see them on that one. I think they have kind of a special show planned. I think it's Getting to Know All About You, where, it's going to be a contest is how much. And if you're here and you want to pay attention to some of these things that we talk about, because I've been kind of looking into Ray's background there, and maybe you can get some of the answers. You just never know. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Okay. Don't say you got it from here if you heard it.
I'm just kidding.
And Jill, good to have you here. And, so yeah, Steep Desert Adventures in Arizona. One of my drone buddies there is, I think, also tuned in. And TGIF is one of our supporters. Maybe someday she's going to be doing some shows herself. But she's, I think, when I clicked on it, she was up to 60 subscribers and not having a video out yet. How about that? Way to go! Right?
I told her, if you post one video, you'd probably have 300 subscribers within a couple days.
and well deserved too. She's always there for being a great supporter, like some of the rest of you are. So, And Dan, thank you for being here. Good to have you. And look at this. We also got do I see Gina? Hello, hi Gina. Good to have you here. You rock too. And so, yeah, it's funny how as I get looking and doing the preparation for the interviews, how the synergies of different people and how they work together and collaborate. And Gina's like, she's part of the glue that puts YouTube together. So thank 100%. You for all you've done for me, for Ray, for Tim, for all of us there. Awesome 100%. Person. So good to have you here.
Yeah.
And let's see, anybody else there that's come in? I got Dan, and let's see, I think we got most of them. Oh, Ron's here. Ron Darrell Adventures. Isn't it interesting how, we've got RV, we've got Adventures, we've got Van. There's a lot of things. It's like, okay, I mean, ours, California Travel Videos, it's kind of distinctive, but then it's easy. Like when you search for TGIF, you get like 100 different channels that seem like they want to pop up ahead of you. But once you kind of get a channel a little bit bigger, you do it the old-fashioned way, you earn it, and then eventually it's like, okay, you become kind of distinctive. But I've got to say, Tim, you have one distinctive channel name. And I don't know if a lot of you would know that, but if you know some of the Asian languages, for sure, Vietnamese, the Mo rather than more, MoBang. That would be the way they would like me to say it. And then FoYoBucks, because he's interested in having things thrifty, interested in having the best value. FoYoBucks. I love that. That is so funny. We can't wait to talk more about your brand and your channel there. That is going to be awesome. So I think we're getting pretty close. And here we go. Water Girl. I don't know your first name. Do you know, Ray, what her first name is?
I believe it's Jessica or Jennifer, if I remember correctly.
Okay, would you tell us, Water Girl? Because, I look and I try to find, but you, in my opinion, are a woman of mystery. But Jessica or Jennifer or Jay or
Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer. Okay, thank you. I've tried to remember that.
I got a cheat book.
Yeah, I've got a piece of paper here. I can kind of put some of them in, but my daughter's name is Jenny, so at least if I call you Jenny, don't take any offense. She's a great girl. And another one of our greatest supporters of all times, Kathleen. What's up there, Cal? So glad to have you here, and you are awesome. And I don't know. Do we have you as a mod? We should. I'm going to go take a look over. I got so many tabs open. I don't know about you guys. Ray, I kind of like, I wonder, yeah, you are. How does he do it? He's got like, you don't normally use an iPad. Do you use a big iPhone because you're all Apple? That might be one of the answers. But do you use mostly just the smaller devices when you do these?
For streaming?
Yeah.
Well, like right now I'm on my iPhone, but when I'm doing my own streams, I'm on my laptop, a MacBook Pro.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. Because that is so helpful.
Yeah.
I've got like a laptop there that goes to a teleprompter, so I can see that everything's on the laptop looking at the main A camera.
Yeah.
And then I've got one for my Wirecast. And it feeds a couple others over here. One of them's vertical, which I'm looking over here. Is where I can look down the chats as they go down. And then I've got this one. It's a Digitizer Wacom tablet. And so I don't know what's going on. I've got too many monitors. But when I'm on the road, it's like, okay, I've got the one laptop. But my front of the RV, it has like a big screen. So I take a HDMI cable so that, sometimes when you're editing video or things like that, do you guys find that it's helpful? I think, as we'll get into it a little bit later, but Ray, don't you kind of have an envision where you're going to have a 3-monitor system in your new rig?
Yeah, that's down the road, but I try to keep everything pretty simple and try to use what I have to its max, and then I try to grow from there. So with my next system, I do plan on having 3 monitors because I have a vision of how I want that to work out. But it's just, small steps. And as I grow and as I learn different tools about streaming and stuff like that, then I'll add to it as I go.
Excellent. A good way to set it. And I got to take my glasses off. This isn't like we're going to go fighting, but I'm not so sure if I want you to get together with my wife, Grace, because she's a minimalist. And you too, Tim. You guys are both kind of minimalists. We're going to get into that in a second. But there was, we'll let you kind of chip in now. Why don't you go ahead there, Tim, and tell us about one of your latest posts it had. And you were talking at the end of it about when you have more space, you just get more stuff. And you remember when Grace and I came back and forth? Tell us a little bit about how that went, what you felt between the two of us. It's okay. You can judge us. That's fine.
Usually couple, it's not going to be the same. It has to be the opposite. That's the norm. Keep us in check,
100%.
Yeah, but she keeps on saying, less stuff, Michael. I say, but we've got space for it. Come on, let's go ahead. I feel more comfortable. I'm more secure. It's like, I think it's like insulation. It's going to keep the RV warmer if we have it all filled. Huh? But you guys in your vans, it's like, in fact, this is interesting. Don't tell her I said this, just for us. But I wanted to get a Sprinter van. I thought a Sprinter van is just fine. And the one that we saw, it was a nice Mercedes Sprinter. The floor plan was in such a way that she felt that she couldn't use the restroom without her knees and feet sticking out in the aisle. And she says, this is a non-starter. Can't you spin around? Or maybe we can look at a different model. No Sprinter. So we ended up with something bigger, a Class C 24-foot. So, that's the curse that she has when I'm trying to fill it all up.
And a 24-footer is not too bad. I mean, for a Class C, that's a really good size. Really
it is. Size. In fact, you were in my exact floor plan, which is a Fleetwood Icon.
Yeah.
And that was with
Kevin.
Kevin, I was going to say Tim.
Yeah.
No, it's Kevin. Yeah. And I think at least one of the times you were with him was down there in your favorite place, getting very close to Mount Whitney, and the cell service wasn't good. But I think you did one of your channels, brought your WeBoost over into his rig because yours with the wind or whatever. But how did that work out for you?
It was good. For whatever reason, that weekend, Verizon and my Visible, I had zero service. I mean, very, very little.
Yeah.
And so luckily, Kevin had AT&T, and so the combination with my WeBoost and his AT&T service, it worked out really well. So good team.
That's another one of my foibles. I've got I don't know, we have our AT&T services on our iPhones, and then I have a hotspot by Verizon and another one, an AT&T hotspot plan. Because sometimes we're out a lot. If you're uploading a lot of videos, all of a sudden it's like if you got a 30 gigabyte plan, it's like, now we're going to be throttled. What are we going to do? So, this is where, and Ray, we'll get to you later on this. In fact, we'll start with you just in a second, Tim. But Ray and I are of the same mind as far as we're really looking forward. We kind of admire Elon Musk with a lot of things that he does. And so, talking about what type of a truck, a vehicle he might buy from them, and what kind of a Starlink for having much better upload and download speeds. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So, Tim, are you ready to go?
Sure.
Okay. Well, first off, maybe you want to interview me, or you have some questions or things. Why don't I let you tee it off? What would you like to kind of start with today?
It's your show. You run it any way you want.
Okay. If you're ready, I'm going to pitch one here. Here we go. So I guess you guys had actually an interview, right? Wasn't Tim wasn't on your show, Ray?
Yeah, he was on my show. This was back before he went on his second journey, before he went to the the 10 different states.
Northwest. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
So it's great. And now that Tim, you are starting to become a live streamer now too. You're going to be dangerous, aren't you? So that's great that you do it. The question is that you're still new to that, and if you're like me, is like everything bright and shiny must be good. But some people, they're like, oh, I really want to do a lot of that, and others at some point they say, well, if you're wanting to grow, then you're really interested in the YouTube watch time. First you want the impressions to get a click-through rate, and then you really have to start looking at the watch time. How do they go off before half of it? It's an hour show. They'll go off less than 30 minutes. It's not good. I know Ray is at first we're kind of considering this, but at some point Ray went off to where he said, the community and things, which we'll talk about later, is important. So I'm kind of wondering, have you got a master plan so far, Tim, or are you just kind of like holistic and just going with the flow?
I'm just play it by whatever, like I'm not planning anything. Like if something I see interesting that's helpful for others, actually, whatever I do is kind of like teaching myself. And at the same time, in order to teach myself, I have to plan it out and make the video. So it's forced me to simplify it for the viewer. So it's just, believe it or not, I don't plan anything. Any video you see that I do is done in all in one day.
Beautiful. That is really good. And I've noticed that where Ray and Grace and I, we maybe are more like the rabbits. We have some big videos and some that are just kind of, But it seems like every one you pump out, it's got a good amount of value and you've got a solid amount of views. And you really seem like you hit the nail on the head most every time, where Ray and I were like, hey, we're more creative, right?
Well, actually, when I watch the type of video I put out, and I see how fast the number of views get, and I know, that's what you guys want to see. I will give you that. The rest is more like, okay, I just want to show it just for myself and save it. And if you watch, fine. If you don't, that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a good point. In fact, both of you fellas are younger, kind of the young pups, not just age, but in terms of the amount of time you've had your channels and doing exceedingly well. I think Grace and I, we maybe have 270,000 views, but hey, We do it the old-fashioned way. We earn it. So we've been at it about 7 or 8 years. But we've had 3 videos that have produced more than half of that. So, I'm hoping you too, Tim, when you get some that are really just kind of hit the ball out of the park. All of them are good, and I think that's a great way to go. And at some point, you'll maybe want to say, I'd like this really gets it a lot amount of views. But tell us about what make and model of RV you have.
For me,
Yeah,
I don't have an RV. I just have a little.
It's a van. It's like an RV. You made it an RV.
It's a 1999 Toyota Sienna. It's really
listen,
old.
everybody. Excuse me, just a second. If you start a video, the title, 1999 Toyota Sienna, I guarantee you're going to get 300 hits on every one of them. Not really. I'm just joking. But, you have that on a lot of them. Those are some of your best performing. So you've got something that is what a lot of people are really interested in. Have you noticed that, or do you play on that?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, because I know a lot of my viewers are older viewer, which don't have a lot of income.
Yeah.
So if they think about van life, so I always emphasize, okay, this is a vehicle that's really old. You can do it too. And that's all the video I do. I make it so simple that they can just need to feel simple too, and they can do it themselves.
Yeah. So simplicity is one of your major elements of your brand, having things that are affordable. And, this is so important for us all to kind of learn from you, Tim, is that our brands will evolve, obviously. But it's at some point, it's like what we learned from Ray and the people like that is that you got to do something true to your heart, or else you're going to be like, you'll be swimming upstream and eventually you will get tired. But I hope that you feel energized by the contributions, because it looks like, you got to your 1,000 subs real quickly, and you're going to have your community tab. I know you're going to get that going one of these days now. And if you find that that's of benefit, but I love the fact that you are so generous, both of you, with your audience. So do you see what type of trips you want to take in the future? You just got back from your Pacific Northwest trip, and it seemed like it went well. But I know before, if you have like little leaks or things, there's always the maintenance issues. Tell us a little bit about your strategy for when you travel.
I do have a backup plan. That's why I chose that kind of vehicle, and all my build is easy to remove. So I will find another exact same vehicle in the state where it broke up and just buy it, cash, and move on.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta say something too.
Jump in, for sure, anytime.
In terms of minivans, like right now, the minivan, or people are searching a lot of videos for minivans right now. So that's like a hot topic right now in van life is minivans. And I wish I could have done a minivan, but unfortunately, I have like these dreams of having a motorcycle and a trailer and being a full-time boondocker. But I think to live the van life in the city and doing it in a minivan is probably one of the best vehicles out there to do it in, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Those they're
small and eat good on gas mileage, and you could be in Oregon like that, or you could be in all these different states, and you can get this great gas mileage of 25, maybe 30 miles per gallon.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
And that changes the way your RVing goes, does? I mean, I see these people like Teresa and Mike meant to be RVing, a nice, beautiful fifth wheel with more solar panels on it than I think that's produced out of the Hoover Dam. Not quite, but they've really got it livable. And they can go somewhere and stay for a week or more. And the three of us, we're okay. I get 15 to 16 miles to the gallon. And so that's reasonable. And so I don't feel like, when I get out of California anyway, Ray and I know what the cost of gas and diesel in California. But, when we get out of the state, it's like, okay, this isn't so bad. So one thing I think that is probably also somewhat in tune with us is that, Tim, at least you and I, we're kind of like pack a couple things and off we go. It's not like we have a week or a month, or like some people do, endless RVing. They'll have the whole year mapped out. And some of these other big channels, The Odd Couple, the whole year is all mapped out. And I think that the three of us are we have some things we'll have in the plan, but Tim, do you know more than a month or two ahead of time what your next trip is going to be?
It's more like a week because right now I was supposed to go to Florida, but then there's changed because we're gonna have that Oregon meetup. So plan change. So that's why I like to keep it short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, and that makes it kind of the same philosophy with your vehicle. So I guess that in terms of your rig, you do a lot of work on it yourself. You're very creative. I wonder, did you learn that as a boy from your father? I know when I was over in Vietnam, a lot of people were very good at what I would call field expediency, doing things without a lot of resources. You learn by word of mouth, or you just keep trying. So, how did you get to be so good at not only giving the information to others, but discovering it yourself?
How long your show?
As long as you want it to be. I may have to get a toddy. Ray and I will have to have a drink at some point, though.
All right, so I'm going to do a really short version. So when I came over here as a boat refugee from Vietnam, so before we come to here, they put us in Malaysia Island, which is isolated. So you got to work with what you have in that island. So that's how I learned a lot of skill to make it work.
I wonder about that because I heard that they were, that government was after you. I thought you were more from Vietnam, not Malaysia, but were you kind of in both places?
Well, actually, they have to keep you there for about, depends, sometimes 3 months, 9 months, depend. Because they have to find a sponsor in either USA, Australia, stuff like that to bring you over. Because you don't control a refugee that doesn't speak a word of English into the country. So they have to find a sponsor family to bring them over.
Right. Good. So
you have to stay in these.
What year was that we were talking about when you came over?
1979.
79. Okay. Not too much different from when I had left. Phew. Things were different back in those days, weren't they?
Oh, much different.
Where did you locate when you came to the United States?
Actually, I stayed in California my whole life here.
Oh,
41 years.
Good. And you've been mostly in Southern California, down in Ray's neck of the woods, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, good information. Now, I see that you have about 72,000 views, 205 videos. You got your 1,000 subs. Kind of just blow through it about the same time we did. But you're better than us in uploads. You get a couple uploads a week. You keep them kind of short and to the point, and you just kind of. I assume it doesn't take you like 10 to 20 hours like it can sometimes for us to produce a video. How long does it take you normally to produce one?
Half hour.
Oh, you hit to the heart. Did you hear that, Ray?
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
It's not because you know why? Because I'm lazy. When I record it, I make sure I record what I need. And that's it. I don't edit much. I maybe shrink a little bit, and then I just attach them together and pump them.
Are you still using the same editor you used before? Or have you kind of changed?
Same thing, but before it was free, but now I pay them, so now you don't see that little logo.
Yeah, I noticed that when I saw the tag down there, and then like when it went, I thought, well, I'm gonna look for a video where he talks about it. I didn't see where you mentioned it, but all of a sudden the tag was gone. Yeah. So.
Well, it's weird. I pay for it. Sometimes it show up, sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. I don't know.
Huh. Not bad. Not bad. Well, whatever. It all works. So your about page. I'm going to read just a little bit of it here. I'm going to go full screen here just so I can see it a little bit better. I think, yeah, there we go. Okay. Because I think it really, rather than get a lot of the interviews, some of these things, I think you said it so beautifully. After working for 30 years straight, I am tired and get ready for the next chapter of my life. On this channel, I will share my own experience on the various areas of my life. The goal is pay forward by showing people how they can save money and have financial freedom, which enable them to do many other things in life besides being the slave for the riches. Amen. I am currently doing my lifetime dream, traveling towards the lower 48 states. Is that you still feel that's pretty good?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to do it a little bit too fast. I like to explore a little bit slower, but
Uh-huh.
I will do it slower.
I've been asking him the same thing. I'm like, Tim, you need to slow down, buddy. Slow down.
Well, when my wife retires,
Uh-huh.
hopefully I will be able to convince her to get an RV or build an RV from her. Then
Oh.
we can do that.
And that's
kind of
I'm sorry. That's a really good way is to, just, you don't have to eat the whole elephant at one time is, you try it, especially if you don't have a lot of investment put in it, and then you can go ahead and be flexible. And so some people, they go from little to big or big to little. Some people seem to do it every year or so. I see some of the big YouTubers that are family oriented, and that's maybe a little bit of it, but Less Junk, More Journey, they seem like every time I watch a new video, they got a new vehicle almost. So I need to change that much, but it's good to kind of sometimes, I think, like we do with our producing, if we try one type of video and then we say, oh, let's do some live streams or let's kind of do a different format. And we'll get to Ray in a little bit. But Ray, I like the fact that you also are a creative part. And I think Ray, when he was back, anytime you're been in your career, they say where an actor becomes a bartender, it's the best way to study people, right?
Oh, yeah.
And also you were doing some film work, professional film work back in those days too. So,
yeah,
we all kind of enter this thing we call YouTube producers in different ways, but it is, I think, where we do evolve. At least for me, the definition of hell is to do the same thing over and over again. But I guess, Tim, it sounds like one of your goals is to see those 48 states, though, isn't it?
Yes, Michael. Yeah. All in detail, not just speeding through like this.
No. But the first time I went through, it's like Grace and I were sailing through the states to get back to New York. But we'll do it a little slower. In fact, when we go to Oregon later this month, we're gonna, take our time and see some things besides visit with our fellow YouTubers. But one of the things you do is you like to go to the capitals and then kind of see some places around the borders. Is that kind of your philosophy?
Yes. It's easy for me to aim for the capital because you can't miss it.
right in the center. Right in the center of the state, usually.
I think my headset maybe is slowing down on me, and it's not like it looks like I'm an old guy. I wear hearing aids. I don't know if you're familiar with in-ear. Oh my God, that one's coming in really good. So this one, I think I'm just going to take out. Are you familiar with in-ear monitors?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Ray is. Yeah.
I used to, when I was a manager at a casino, we used to have those on, and so we had to use that with the radios and all that stuff. So.
Oh, that especially, yeah. But it certainly, it's nice where it cuts out all the external noise.
Yeah.
So okay, I can hear again. So you spent some time. I don't know if you're still doing it, but Tim, you did some things with DoorDash. I'm sure a lot of people are kind of curious about that. If you're interested, see some of his videos where he talks about. I don't know if you call them scammers or what, but where they. Oh, I put the wrong address. I put the restaurant as a address. Do I have to pay? Or, you had some experiences, and I know you've kind of found that you like to do the shorter runs and the ones near the core eating hours. And are you still doing that, or is that working out okay for you?
Yes, right now I'm student, and then I'm actually cutting down the hour, but I make about the same amount of money. So I know
Work
that
smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah, you learn quick. You learn quick. What people are doing out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as you enjoy it, and you don't feel a victim, and in fact, it's kind of fun. And one of the real advantages you have in this, I never thought about it, and I thought, oh, Tim is so clever. When he goes to another city, so I'd like some money for gas and things, and so you get some spending money, and you're having a good time seeing the city anyway.
Plus, I get the exercise. Before I do this, every morning I walk twice a day. It's like, why not get paid while I'm doing the walking?
Yeah, really. Me, it's a little different way. My Siberian Husky, he'll be, it's like it's getting to be 10 o'clock. We haven't got our morning walk yet, or by 7 o'clock, it's like, it'll be 5 o'clock. When the sun starts. He doesn't go by the day or the time of the day. He goes by where the sun is. Like, come on, let's go, guy. Get off your butt. Let's go. And Ray, how about your exercise? We'll get to you more, but you love to hike, don't you? Is that your biggest form of exercise right now?
That's my biggest form of exercise. And I usually go for a morning walk in the mornings, bright and early, before I have my coffee, and then in the evenings too. So twice a day, same, just like Tim, twice a day.
Yeah,
in the mornings and the evenings. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So I guess I know you have a lot of stories, Tim, and cold weather stories, mechanical problem stories, things that you've done with your refrigeration, what things to take have been some of your big stories. Do you have any story that you'd like to kind of maybe share with us, or lessons learned?
Well, being in a tight space like that, you want to keep things as simple as possible. So refrigeration, you don't really need it if you're in a minivan. So try to do a lot of dry food or canned food.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really want to eat good, then just go to a restaurant. You're in the city anyway. So why bring extra stuff with you? Besides, when you travel, you're tired. You don't want to really cook. So you want something really quick and, curb that hunger.
Yeah.
Now, between the two of you, when you have your, I think you both have butane heaters, but I should say cookings, but from different companies. Why don't you, two of you talk on your philosophy on how you heat up your foods? I'd be kind of curious what you guys have to say to each other.
You want to go, Tim, or you want me to go first?
No, go ahead, Ray.
All right. So I use a single burner propane stove, and when I'm in the city, I'll eat from either a health food store or a somewhat of a healthy restaurant, and that's in town. But when I'm boondocking, for the most part, I am boiling water to warm up my what's it called? The dehydrated meals, the freeze-dried meals. So like the Mountain House meals. So all I have to do is boil water, put it in the bag, and within 15 minutes, I have food ready to go.
And you have one meal a day, correct? Is that what you're still kind of doing?
Yeah, I'm still doing one meal a day. So it saves on money. I don't have to worry about breakfast. I don't have to worry about, a later dinner, and then just focus my eating within 4 hours. So I'll snack, eat, and maybe snack, and that's it. I'm done for the day.
Right. And you have high protein foods. We'll get to your keto on his part of the story. We'll save that. But how about for you, Tim? How about your cooking now? I saw you did one video where, the gasket, if it's not tight, some of the gas might get in. So, either annually replace the O-ring or get a new unit or things. But how about your cooking strategy? How's that working for you?
So my two main way of cooking is the main one is butane stove. But I also have a rice cooker, which even though it's a rice cooker, you can use it to warm up food while you're driving. Because I have an inverter that hooks straight to my battery in the vehicle. So as long as the engine running, I can cook stuff.
That was how I started out. Yes, is to have how many watts is like 500, 1,000, 2,000?
Whatever you want. Like if you want 1,000, you put 1,000 inverter.
Oh, really? Okay, so
you
got a pretty good sized alternator in your RV then, don't you? Excuse me, your van.
Yeah, whatever. You just have to prep what you need. But I think 750 watt is more than enough to do
it is, meal. Yeah.
And then driving down the road and his food's being cooked for him.
Unlike Ray, I got to eat 3 meals a day. I burn energy like crazy.
Yeah, only 3. Man, that's it. It's my metabolism. It's not that I'm belly up to the buffet bar, but I do eat a fair amount sometimes. But and then refrigerations, people should look at your video, but you have a way that you can actually keep things cool for a day or two by the types of food you buy. Isn't that right?
Yes, easy.
You got some secrets.
Well, I have a little, it's not really a cooler, it's like a water jug.
Right.
But it's big enough that I have another plastic jug I put inside, and I put ice in it and then put the food around it. And I get to save that ice, the melting ice, is my water.
Yeah. But some I've seen where you have like a meat or maybe eggs at the bottom, and you can put the frozen vegetables in the bags on top. And you'd want that to thaw out anyway within a day or two. So, yeah, you're pretty clever on some of those things. It's almost like you've been doing this 10 or 20 years. You haven't been hanging around Bob Wells along, have you? I know.
No,
I didn't think so.
When you're being cheap, you kind of have to think hard. How can I get away with stuff?
Yeah, you're right. And I know that Ray, he would like, he said thousands. I don't know if that's right. We'll get to it later. But I think all of us at some point, we like to look at a lot of people's RV videos, and then we kind of learn from them. We're happy to share how we've modified that, our lessons learned too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I have a 65 quart Dometic refrigerator.
Yes.
And it's huge. It's a monster. So when I first started VanLife, I thought I needed this huge refrigerator. My diet was a little bit different then. And things change. You learn as you go, and you learn, like, I don't really need this huge refrigerator. So lately I've been using more of an ice chest, a little small ice chest. If there's something that I want cold, whether it's beer or vegetables or whatever that needs to be cold or cool, then I'll keep it in there. But that 65-liter Dometic refrigerator is just massive. It's just huge. It's just huge.
Yeah, it's funny how one thing starts the catalyst, the size of the RV. What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. And I actually found Ray because of his solar video. I was kind of, get the typical ones or the thin ones. He did the best job I've ever seen for having a thin one and taking care of the problem with the heat transfer from a hot roof, not to have a problem. Right. And I guess that I like what you've done too, Tim, is to say, well, I maybe instead of that is that I'll have enough draw from my alternator that I could have when I'm running the engine anyway, and I'll have an inverter, and that works just perfect for you, hasn't it, so far?
Yeah, except you have to plan your meal. So you have to plan it about an hour and a half. So, okay, I'm going to eat at 6. So you have to start prep everything as you drive down the road. And by the time you stop, it's ready to eat.
Yeah, and just on that note, is that you never know which video's going to be a big one, but one of the top 3 was when the microwave went out in ours. It was, I think, sometimes the Class C's will sway a little bit because they're fairly tall for the weight ratio and the wheelbase. And I was just going over, I don't know, a dirt field, maybe just a couple of gopher mounds, but I think that swaying kind of took the magnetron out, and I replaced it. And I thought, well, I'll do a video on it. It has some twists and turns, but some of these things, when things don't go quite right or bad, that's what people want to see. They want to see the real you, the vulnerability. And Ray and Tim, you both do that, I think, is good, or maybe even, I don't want to say it, but better than I do. Yeah, you do it very well. So, you kind of, your dialogue, when you talk to the camera about what's going on, what's in your mind, you're kind of vulnerable and you're intimate with them. And have you been that way all through your life? Or does your wife feel you're that way most important? Don't answer. It's okay. It was, I shouldn't ask that.
Well, I'm always like that. I like to get personal with people that I talk to. So that's why when I talk on a camera, I project that feeling. So I don't know. It comes natural, I guess. Good.
Well, it seems like it to me. Regarding your playlist, you have one playlist, the economy and gigs, which I think is wonderful. You have something you can differentiate yourself. We all love to learn on that. Getting handy, this field expediency, car camping. Road trips is one of your tops. It has 28 videos on road trips. Product reviews are always a hit. That's not one of your top ones. Van camping, you have 49 in that area. That's your biggest one. And then, like you said, not being lazy but efficient, but you call it lazy man cooking. And then you have my stuffs, my life. I've got to look at that. I encourage others too, because he has a deep background with his parents, Saigon, prior work that he's done in his life. And one that you would expect if you know his brand, Money Management, that is a good one. And How To, that's one of your top ones also, 19 videos you've done on that. And if that is enough, you have an Instagram channel also. Can you keep up juggling that many balls?
No, I have Instagram, but I never use it much.
Yeah, I find I have another YouTube channel. Actually has a lot of followers on it, but it's hard to keep multiple ones going. But Ray's going to tell us about he's doing that. I know he's got some plans, and he's a younger, more ambitious pup than we are. But it's good to try different things.
you always have to be testing. If it, keep trying
That's
different things, and
mhm.
if it doesn't work, adjust. If it doesn't work, adjust again, and then just,
Yeah. Well,
go with it.
Tim, would you be okay if I talked about your statistics for just a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. I see on the date of April 24th, you picked up 36 subs. That's what this Social Blade said. I don't know what happened that day, but like, wow, that was a good date. And then the day after, you had quite a few subs added too. So I didn't see one significant specific video, but sometimes you get interviewed on another channel. I don't know if that was when maybe you were around Ray or Paula's channel, but you've added 105 subs in the last 30 days. Congratulations, and had
Thank you.
7,500 views in the same time. So it's like, 7,500 views times 12, you're going to have about 80,000 views this year, maybe even higher if you're a hockey stick and goes up. So you're on the right path. And in terms of your videos, you had 697 on March 22nd. That was around the time of your day road trip, 2.0 as you called it. When you went to Napa for that one, it was like, yeah, I should do more things in my area too. And then another one, top views, was on August 1st. Your minivan camper was a hot one. And I think you got 13,000 views on that, young man. So congratulations. 136 comments, I might add. And then on the June 24th, grand tour of the 99 Toyota Sienna minivan, got 8,900 views on that one. Woo-hoo. And on February 29th, that extra day in this year, simple minivan campers for the 1999 Toyota Sienna, 5,700 views. So do you spend any time looking to see, when are the ones you should pat yourself on the back, or you not even look at these numbers?
I do look at them, but then that's how I discover, okay, this is what my viewer like. Then I will, well, I'm not going to exploit it, but when the chance come up, then I will show them. When there's actual change to the minivan, I will show them the van tour. People seem to like tour of the whatever you have,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for just a second over to your page here. I think I can get myself out of the way here and make that go back. So here's your page, and I love your colorful banner. I like the piggy bank is kind of thrifty, and the saw and the hammer around your house, and the wrench there with your vehicle, and the controller button. A nice font. And one thing before I close out, and I'll get your final comments, is your graphics are always really cool. If we look at your fonts, I don't know what tool you use, but I really do admire that your font set. Do you find that is something you've made some breakthroughs on that, or how did that happen?
Well, when I grew up, cursive writing is very important. Everybody have to know how to do cursive writing, and I like kind of cursive font that have cursive writing like that.
Mm-hmm. But how about some different icons and things? Do you have like a font set that you can buy, or how does that work for you?
So it's going to be a shock for you, Michael. I'm cheap, so anything that I can grab for free, I use it.
Good answer. You're the man, I've got to say. Well, do you have anything? We'll let Ray have his chance in here too, but is there any areas I've missed? And of course, we'd love to have you join in on Ray's part, but anything else you'd like to share with us?
I'm good. Let
You're good.
Ray have a chance.
Well, you've done a great job, and please stay if you have time, and we'll go to Ray. Are you ready, Ray?
I'm ready. Let's bring it.
Okay. So first off, one of your videos, you said it's day 1023 that you've been out on the road, a traveling man. And if I've got that right, we would need to say, that year there was 366 days, subtract 297, and there were 121 days into this year now. So I think you're 1268. Is that about the number, or what? Does that sound about right?
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Day number 1,268.
Man, that is so cool.
I like it. I like keeping track of that.
Yeah, and there is maybe a little background, if you want to share your background on how you have that. But you have two movie celebrities that are mine also. And share just a little bit for those who don't know them. But a lot probably will, but some won't.
Yeah. So the influence of tracking the days came from those two movies, and both those movies, the first one would be Castaway with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks gets stranded on an island. He's on the island for 1,500 days for what I think it's like 4 years it ends up being. And he's there, one man trying to survive on an island, doing whatever it takes just to get off that island. And so for him to track it and track the seasons and trying to survive on an island just with himself and Wilson was definitely inspiring. And then the other movie is The Martian. And then Matt Damon in The Martian is stuck on Mars, and he's there for, let's see if I can remember correctly. I don't remember the exact days, but every day he's checking off how many days he's living on a planet by himself. Again, it's one man versus nature. It's one man versus trying to survive in this space. And both those movies have influenced me on counting and keeping track of how long it takes or how long I've been going through this and trying to survive in this world that we live on. And so yeah, both those movies have been a big influence in that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting now that I think about it. I don't know if you know one of the big YouTubers right at the top when it comes to the YouTube events where they invite the other YouTubers in, Casey Neistat, but he had in his office, like, I guess he must really like Godfather. Yes. There's the 3 parts of Godfather. He has them running on 3 different monitors all the time. But it sounds like you've actually seen some of these movies, the favorites like that, several times. When I was a teen, oh man, James Bond, man, I had to watch James Bond several times. But do you find that, for something like you love the freedom, you kind of love the outdoors, there's a survival aspect of it that you've had when you've had your solitude. And it's kind of cathartic. And I'm just kind of thinking, is that true? Do you think that when we have things that we watch, and I don't know if we model, but with things that we resonate, is that part of, the inner you, do you think?
I think so. I mean, we're all inspired in different ways. And for me, movies or maybe even video games too, but movies I've always been close to. Is it something I could watch again, and we could be modeled or influenced by people who live in different environments or live different situations, and you try to apply those lessons that you might learn in a movie and kind of compare it to your own life. And so for me for me, those 2 movies have definitely been very inspiring or a big influence in the van life journey so far. So
right. In fact, now that I hadn't thought about this before, when we watch YouTube, it's on a different plane, but there's a lot of the same things. And, I don't know who the person Brian is. You'll tell us about that. But he was, you've said, influential and inspirational. Yeah. Bob Wells, Cheap RV Living. You were kind of like, you realize 2 of your big problems was electricity, solar being the solution. Pooping. Yeah. And then Box Van D, who he kind of like they went up together. Yeah. His biggest video was with her, 4.5 million views after 4.5 years. Yeah. But those are some people, I guess, on more of a YouTube side that I guess you found were really helpful for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I had no idea. I mean, growing up, you learn, you see, I guess, hippies living in vans, or you see people living in vans, but I didn't ever think it could be a lifestyle for me until I saw Adventure Van Man Brian. Brian's about the same age as me, 46 years old, living in San Diego. And so I'm getting, okay, this guy looks like me. He had a job kind of like me. He looks like me. He lives in the van in San Diego, which is only about an hour away from here. And it kind of opened my eyes, like, hey, this is a lifestyle that, it doesn't have to be a hippie-ish kind of lifestyle, but this could be a lifestyle that I could use for myself as I'm working or as I'm traveling. And so when I came across Adventure Van Man Brian, and he put a solar panel on his roof, I'm like, okay, you know what? I could do this. I could put a solar panel on my roof, on my van, and power the stuff that I want, the lights, the cameras, the action, And then after that, I'm like, okay, this is probably doable. So I'm, on YouTube, watching more YouTube videos, and I came across Bob Wells, and then he, his poop video,
Yes.
showed me, hey, I could have I don't need to have a bathroom. I don't need to have a big kitchen. I could have a simple bucket that takes care of that business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of checked off that issue of, needing to go to the bathroom at midnight or 2:00 in the morning or 4:00 in the morning, and not worrying about a gas station being open or a gym being open or, a restaurant drive-through, whatever, being open. But after that, then that's when I came across Box Van D's video. And, despite her situation financially, emotionally, physically, that this is a lifestyle that you could do, that I could do. And so both those creators, both those channels definitely inspired me and showed me that, hey, this is a lifestyle that I can do. And not only can I do, but I can actually thrive on. And ever since then, no looking back now. No looking back.
I think the three of us, in fact, we would all say we don't take any pride over plagiarism. Plagiarize, but give credit. So,
Absolutely.
It's when we see somebody else that has the low-hanging fruit, I don't think we have to do the not invented here syndrome. I remember in corporate sometimes, we can't do it. Somebody else is doing that. Hey, if it's the best way, why reinvent the wheel? The wheel works.
Yeah.
So, I think that's something you've done very well at. And so, Thomas Jordan, I know you get inspired from Hello Artsy Dude, and obviously, and your pivot towards community, Gina and Paula and some of the many others, I think have been giving you that right kind of balance, I guess, between taking care of business, but then also taking care of your heart and soul. Yeah.
So when I came, well, which direction do you want me to go? Do you want me to go the Gina route? Or do you want me to go
whichever way you want to?
Okay.
I'm just throwing a softball, and whichever you want to hit it out, left field, center field, right field.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah, so when I first started VanLife, it was all about numbers. It was all about numbers and all about numbers. And then, of course, that all changed when I met Gina, VanLife with Gina, and I had 53 subscribers. And it wasn't about trying to gain 10,000, 20,000 subscribers. It changed completely. And it's still the same. So it wasn't about the numbers anymore. It was about connecting with people, having friends like you two, on the road, and so many others. So when I realized it's just not about the numbers, it's about connecting with people, growing friendships on the road, having friends on the road, having meetups, having a community that can inspire each other to do different things. That was a huge game changer for me. So then when I met Thomas Jordan and Hello Artsy Dude, they're so creative and they put so much work into these videos. I'm like, you know what? It's not just a video. I don't have to be so serious in making a serious video about a bucket or whatever. I could put some fun into it. I could put some creative, artsy type flair to it. I could put my personality into these videos and not be so serious about making a video, right? I can be relaxed. I could be more calm and show my creative side. And those two channels definitely has inspired me to put some art into it.
In fact, they are artistic. And in fact, when they had, 40 question challenge, and when Hello Artsy Dude Anthony asked me, it's like, okay, well, I don't know if I can do it as good as he did. He spent a lot of time in it. He gave me, passed the gauntlet and said, here you go. So that's helpful. In fact, it's interesting how you see one thing that you like about a person, and then you find other things too. So as like, Gina is into prepper now. I think that's one of the ways her channel is. And when I watch one of yours, it's like, oh, he's interested and does prepping too. So you find things that are common. You and I, we're both into things that normally might be for 16-year-olds. You airsoft, me paintball. But, I guess we have some of the other things in our life people may not be aware of. It's like, why would they be doing that? But, things I think were, for me, and I know for you, I like, having to do things. We have a quick reaction time at some point, because so often, when you're behind the computer doing left brain cerebral editing and music mixes, but it's not, whenever I say computer, but lady over there, the artificial intelligence catches me. But anyway, so it's like, where it's nice to have something where you have a team exercise like paintball or airsoft or whatever, because communication, trust, respect, they're all very important. And I think a lot of things in games or whatever, it's a microcosm of life. And when I saw that about you, I thought, hey, that's my guy, Ray.
Yeah, I think we all have a lot of hobbies and a lot of things that we take interest in. And this van, man, I was exploring Jeep life. I was exploring motorcycle life. I was exploring RV life. I was exploring, overlanding and hiking communities. And if you could, prepping community, you could overlap so many different things and apply so many different subjects or content to create what you want to be. You could take these different subjects and create whatever you want to build, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's I'm losing my train. No, I mean, we get inspired by different communities. We get inspired by different subjects or content, and we just kind of see if, hey, does that work for me? Does that work in my van? Does that work when I go hiking? And just kind of get influence in different content, different subjects.
Yeah. In fact, on this note, I saw you did the big reveal maybe a week ago. I think it was on Paula's channel, where you're going to have a trailer that you're going to be pulling. We can talk more about that. It certainly is worth seeing that. But then I saw where, like, it was back in about I don't know if it was October or August, but that same trailer was there. See, so it's been kind of distilling for a while. And I know part of it would be at the time you thought, well, it would be really nice also for when I'm traveling with my family. I'm going to take my son out and we're going to get out and do things together. And because, when our RV, it sleeps too comfortably. 3, then okay, we need to do a little bit of how are we going to do that, or do you have like a tent or whatever? But some of these things, I guess, is that you may have some changes, but I don't see you as like you're just kind of like whichever way the wind is blowing. You do kind of have some thoughtful research in terms of what you want to do. But if it turns out that in 6 months or a year later you find a better way to do it, you don't seem like you're too fixed on any one way, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, I have my dreams. I have my stars up there that I'm trying to go for, right? Knowing that I'll never reach those stars, but hey, if I can get so high or so far along my dreams, then I'm lucky and grateful for it. But yeah, to have a van like this has been a dream since I was 4 years old, meaning to be able to go on the road and to be self-sufficient. And, I had a dream that I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to do it. And so as I go down this journey, then I'm like, okay, I can apply different things to this kind of lifestyle. And so the trailer has been a goal for me for about 1.5 years now, of having a trailer, a space for my son, a space where I can go boondocking and be out there for 14 days at a time, be self-sufficient, grow my own food, solar panels, air conditioning, heating, everything, self-sufficient. And so it's been a goal of mine for 1.5 years now. And I'm just taking each step and learning as I go. And I might watch other videos and like, okay, how could I apply that to my van or my trailer or my other dreams? So I'm always learning. I'm always getting inspired by other creators, places they go, places they see, or things they're doing or things they're trying. And that's a thing that I like about Tim's channel, is that he's always trying different things. If it doesn't work out, he tears it down, he rebuilds it, and he learns, and then he explains why. Hey, this didn't work because of this. This didn't work because of that. But always trying, always learning. You have these goals, these stars out there that you want to reach. But continue to research and continue to learn as you go, and eventually we'll get there. So no, I'm super excited about the trailer. That's gonna be a big deal for me, and hopefully by November I'll be able to order it. And so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I know they're very popular. Of course, a lot of RVs are, but it looks like it's super well built. And so I know that one of your friends got the Coachman, which is a little different variation, but yours looks like it's is well built. And I'm just kind of wondering, do you want to now talk a little bit about your new channel? I'd love to give you a chance to promote that. You certainly have 13,000 subs over there. And
Yeah.
I guess some of the things where you'd like to have a little bit different brand. It's still consistent with who you are, but different things that, I suppose the new trailer will be helpful also. So tell us what's going on there, big boy.
So back to the airsoft. So the 13,000 subscriber channel that I have right now is, I think it's 13,100 subscribers. And that channel was my airsoft channel. So that was a channel, it was a hobby channel. It was 15 guys playing airsoft, having fun on the weekends, on Saturdays. And so it was a hobby channel. So that grew to 13,000 subscribers. And so during that time, it wasn't about numbers. It was just about us sharing our stories, playing airsoft. And so that channel grew. So that channel is there. I still have it. It's my channel. I still have some ideas of what I want to do with that channel down the road. But right now, I'm just focused on VanLife Rocks. And then this month, I'm starting my new channel, which is Keto Life Rocks. And that is another passion of mine, which is being healthy, walking, just trying to live a long, happy, healthy life. And I think I have a lot to share. Actually, no, I know I have a lot to share on the subject, and I'm excited to help me keep myself accountable by eating healthy, being healthier, exercising, because I've slacked off in the last year because of things that have happened over the last year. But hopefully I get to share some ideas and help some people and inspire some people on that channel, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, now my wife also, she's been on keto diet for about a year, and I don't know if you have the keto application, which can be real helpful for someone until you get to know is like, what things and how much will, carbohydrates is obviously, and sugars, there's a big part of the things we have to be careful with, but you're kind of holistic here again. And so your exercise obviously is another aspect. And so I guess that channel will be kind of yen-like or whatever, is that has some zen to it, that you want to help other people have a better life also, is what I'm gathering. So you're kind of, it's a teacher-mentor kind of modality.
Yeah. And it's something I wanted to keep separate from VanLife Rocks. Obviously, I didn't want to mix, both channels or both concepts together. So I wanted to keep it separate. I wanted to have the VanLife outdoor stuff over here, and I wanted to have the health and fitness on the other side with KetoLifeRocks.com, or Keto Life Rocks. And I think that hopefully I could inspire people to maybe want to live a healthier life or be more active. And if I could help in that way, then I look forward to sharing my story and how I went about it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical trainer. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've learned a lot over the last 4 years and how I lost weight and changed my life, and maybe my story or my approach could inspire people to do their research and how they want to,
Yeah. I mean, you may not have problem with inflammation, but a lot of people do. My wife has fibromyalgia, and this was one of the reasons that got her attention. And also, to wear clothes that fit nicely and to be able to go on hikes and not lose your breath and things like that. So, and not the worst of things is to have a little longer life. I mean, who wouldn't want that? So the quality of life for sure, though. Yeah.
I'm trying to, one of my stars is I want to try to beat the record, and the record is 122 years old. And so my goal is to I want to be 125 years old so I could see 2,100. And I don't know if it's going to happen. Accidents happen, right?
Well, and health gets better, every generation, I should say every decade. So, and why not? But that reminds me of a joke is the one fella, he's like in his 90s, and somebody says like, well, what do you do? He says, well, I don't eat a lot of food. And it's like, oh, really? Okay. And then, well, how about sleep? Oh, you got to get 8 hours of sleep a day. And well, how about eating? It's like I said, I don't eat a lot. And well, how about alcohol? Well, no, I try to keep alcohol. Smoking? No smoking. He says, man, he said, you must be over 100. And he said, well, it sure feels that way. so you want to have quality of life, but that doesn't mean is that conspicuous consumption is what it needs to be. So when we do things, I don't know if on your new channel, you were going to have kind of like I don't know 7x24, but have some music going or things, and those things might be kind of stretch goals or whatever. But you can still, when you feel like you want to have a beverage, shall we say, a libation, that you can still do that in moderation, right?
Absolutely, moderation is key, and you'll still see me have my meals in the van on VanLife, but for me, those are like rewards. Even though I don't like rewarding myself with that kind of stuff, but I will, because that's the lifestyle that I'm living in VanLife, right?
Yeah.
But then, but during the week, I'm working for it. I'm earning it all week to have those kinds of meals or have those kinds of beverages.
But Tim, let me just ask Tim on this. Tim, are you aware that Ray has about 3 or 4 different vegetables that he grows in his van?
Really?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So
I mean, he will eat some meat from time to time. He doesn't have to meat every day. As God knows, he probably has half the corner on the sardine market, which is another story. But yeah, but you have where you have a good balanced diet, and you'll have a good meal when it's appropriate. I seen one time when you're fixing it was a Mexican dish, but you had chili and some meat in there, and you're stirring it up, and it's like I'm salivating here. I'm like, gosh, I wish I was with him tonight, bro.
Yeah. I mean, the name of the channel is Keto Life Rocks. It's not 100% keto all the time. I'm not in ketosis all the time. So I do have my meals where I cheat and where I eat different foods. But so I do grow my own broccoli sprouts. Right now I'm doing that out of my storage unit. So I grow broccoli seeds or I sprout broccoli sprouts, and I ferment vegetables. So I ferment vegetables like sauerkraut. And,
sauerkraut. That was so cool when I heard that.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. And then I have my mushrooms, and I have my sardines. So there's times to be in ketosis, and there's sometimes where I don't need to be in ketosis. So right now I'm in this maintenance.
Right.
I'm maintaining. I don't need to lose 50 pounds. I still need to lose probably about 15 more pounds. Or I probably need to lose 15 pounds that I've gained since COVID. But I'm not as strict as 4 years ago, right?
Yeah. So, in fact, let's pivot on that. Speaking of losing the weight, I guess you've the last time you tried to go up, one of your lifetime ambitions to go up, not Mount Everest, but the Mount Everest of California to Mount Whitney. Yeah. And so you're up in the Alabama hills and you had a slip and kind of banged up your knee. But I guess you still, the first time you got very close. I'm sure that when you get healthy, those types of things are a lot easier to tackle, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, if you want to live a happy, joyful, healthy life, then you got to take care of yourself. You got to invest in yourself to, whatever you eat, what kind of exercise you're doing, but you got to invest in yourself to, for the future. And so for me if I want to hike Mount Whitney every year, if I want to hike the Grand Canyon, then I need to be healthy and active. And so, yeah.
Well, especially as your son gets to be a teenager, you don't want him to get too far ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
And then also the amount of time when you want to go up to Mount Whitney, if it's 11 miles each way, you can't be just fiddling around. You got to be hustling.
Yeah, it's a serious hike. Most people will do it in 2 days, but
right.
I want to get it done in 1 day. I want to get it up and down, and I'm not the only one that's done that. I'm not the first. There's many people that do that, but it does take a lot of effort and a lot of planning. And a lot of training for it, and I'm gonna do it. It's one of my stars that I'm reaching for, one of my dreams that I want. But at the same time, I hope I fail. I hope this year in the summer when I attempt it, I don't want to hit it. It's one of those stars that I want to keep up there. That I always want to go back and try again and try again and try again, so I don't, so I can come back next time. So.
And Tim, have you ever been up at high altitudes?
Once in Utah, I think I climbed that arch thing.
Yeah. As you're aware, is that when you get up to higher altitudes, Mile High City or whatever, like say I go to the Sierras and I was doing jogging and all of a sudden it's like, wow, 7,000 feet is a whole different thing. It's like if you're not in shape for that thinner air, it's like it slows you down some.
Yeah, you're burning a lot of calories when you're climbing up those mountains. the altitude, the air is thinner, and you can get that headache, you can get that altitude sickness. So you definitely got to train for it. You got to be prepared for it. So whether it's medication or training or how fast you're going up the mountain, and just got to pace yourself, and
all the above.
All the above, D. Yeah.
Well, let me go back a little bit now to your YouTube side. I see you've had a good amount of live streams, 44. That's been of your playlist. That's your numero uno. Van tour, solar, which is how I found you, road trips, dry dock camping, 22 there. And then the number 2 position is living in the van. So 43. And I think that's a nice way that you've got them categorized. And I guess, do you see new playlist items that you just can't wait to get going, or is that working pretty well for you?
I haven't been given that much attention, and just like my about section is terrible, just like my efforts in trying to grow a big channel is not there. It's not my focus, and so I do need to pay attention to the playlist. I probably want to actually make it smaller, because my 3 topics is outdoor living or outdoor adventures, van life, and travel tips. So I kind of want to make them smaller. I kind of want to make the playlist a little bit smaller. But I do like the solar video. So
yeah, and here's for instance for me now is like start like say the Starlink thing, and so I thought Grace said we should have one for that. And I thought, well, I think I want one for communications, because people might be interested in how about some of the different hotspots I use, or using dual diversity, on MIFO or MIMO antennas and things. So, some things, I guess, as we evolve, we find out how they should be either coupled together or sometimes separated apart, So should state parks and national parks be different for us? We'll see. Depends on how much time we spend at each of them. So, I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
And so your new rig, I guess that, do you think it'll likely be possible you can get it mostly going this year? Or are you going to be kind of like Van City, VanLife, like Chrome or things where you'll start to do a video series maybe on the building it up and making it what it is, sort of like what Tim does?
I do have a couple for you're talking about the trailer, right?
Yeah, the trailer now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do have an idea of possibly going down to Florida and then showing up when it's like halfway built. So I do want to talk with Tom, the owner of WeRoll, so that I can arrive there at the halfway point and to be able to, shoot some videos of the progress of the trailer. So when it's actually being built. So that's kind of like what I have in the back of my mind of that, and then being able to drive it back home and then hit all the southern states on my way back. So yeah, that's part of the plan.
And one of the things you said about that is that when you go to different states, you've gotten to where you're starting to have a network, whether it's New Hampshire or Oregon or, and so I think that's one of the things that maybe it was an unintended benefit that we have, is that where you have these lifelong friendships where it start off virtual, but then as you get to travel, is that you have the richness of the time we spend with those people. This community is inspiring and amazing in so many ways, and I didn't expect that 100% when I first started my YouTube channel. It was all about the numbers then, and then you just we learned that there's a community and there's friends out there that we can meet and see and visit and share ideas and share stories and communicate like this, and it's just awesome. It's just amazing. And so that when I have these plans to go, maybe to the Northwest in 2022, or, the Midwest in 2023, or New England in 2024, I can't wait. I can't wait to see all our friends on the road, and, looking forward to it. And I wish I could do it now. I wish I could do all the states right now, like Tim's doing. But for me, I travel a little bit slower, but in time will come, and we'll have those opportunities to meet up. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. Awesome.
Definitely
Yeah,
support it.
it is really something that I think is,
Yeah.
it's sort of like the icing on the cake that we, like I said, we weren't expecting it, but then all of a sudden it's like, wow, that's probably the bigger part. And, this is, I'm going to tease you a little bit. It's good, intended, natured. And Tim and I, we will not be hurt from this. I understand from you when you're being sincere and honest, brutally honest, is that there are two channels that you'll watch at 1x speed. And I got to say, sometimes, I'll hit the shift. I don't know if you realize it, but it's the shift in the period is the greater than. That means I want to go 1 1/4. I want to go 1 1/2. I'll go this one all the way up to 2. Maybe I'll even move this playhead forward. But you haven't said that you move the playhead forward. That's my sin, my foible. But you have Thomas Jordan is one of the channels that you'll watch not only at full speed, but you'll watch it twice. And Cabin Dweller Stacy too. Is there truth to this?
Yeah. Those, it's amazing. You know what it comes down to? It's they have something that I can't have. So they do things that I wish I could do, or I wish I had the opportunity of doing, but I don't. And so when they put so much work into capturing their week or their trip, that those videos, from my point of view, respect or earns my attention and watching it not only once but twice, because of the amount of creative or how much work they put into their videos, or the environment that I wish I could have, but I don't, because they live in Alaska, or they live up in the Northeast, and they have the snow and they have the trees and they have the mountains, and they can have dogs, or they could have, they can camp outdoors and have a fire pit. And I don't know, they just, both those channels to me is definitely are inspiring, and something that I wish I had or could do. And so, I definitely slow down and watch those, both those creators.
Well, especially, here, like you say, the people that are the movie stars, and these are kind of like, you can vicariously, somebody that is up in Alaska, and, she's, I mean, I don't know if well, I mean, I know you do, but the rest of us may not, is she'll have a big slab of 20-pound, maybe 40-pound piece of like frozen meat, like a bag of concrete. And she'll take a chainsaw and go through, because it's pretty frozen in the winter up there. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I wouldn't want to make her mad at me. That's for sure. But it's good to have people like that you can kind of live vicariously through. It's just so funny. Speaking of which, if you look at the comment right now, I don't know if you know Dee, Lady Bug Out. Do you know her?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I've got to say, her, the classy but fun poop video, it was awesome. And I can't wait to go over to Tractor Supply and get some of the pellets that she talks about. But yours, I think she had maybe more views, but comments, you had 1,000 comments, right? I've never seen a video with 1,000 comments. What's up with that?
Well, it was I don't know, back in, was it November?
Yeah.
I somehow came up with the idea of trying to hack YouTube, try to break YouTube.
Right.
Trying to figure out what the algorithms and everything, trying to break YouTube. And so I somehow convinced Paula from Van Vita Travels to go on her show and to try to convince, all her community and my community to try to break YouTube. And so we sent, like 40 of us to 2 different videos, and to make all these comments, and we had to respond to like 800 comments. And so the reason why that video has 1,000 comments is because we were trying to break YouTube, and it worked in different ways. I think that week YouTube went down for a little bit, for a couple hours. And everything's my fault. So,
well, it's, and it's fun to have a laugh. And I think that was the thing. I was going to tease you a little bit and saying, I watched your video and I tried it. I got the bag and I put my socks in it. And then I put the coffee grounds in, and I'm just supposed to throw away my socks. I wasn't sure if that was the way it was supposed to work.
I still have it.
It was a demo, because Grace always says I'm too literal. So.
Yeah, and a good video. I liked it.
It was, and
one
you
of
were
my
fun.
earlier videos were just being fun. Don't be so serious, and it's okay to blink during my videos, and it's okay to have fun and be silly. And that's why I like these live streams lately, and that's why I have so many lately. It's just because I can be like this and be silly and joke around and say and just have fun and play some music and just enjoy the community and build relationships. And so that's what my focus is now is the live streams, and it's just been fun. It's just been
Good.
fun.
Well, we got to watch out for Tim, though. I was telling you, with this projection, he'll have about 80,000, and you had 7,200 also in the last 30 days. So you're slated to go up to about 87, but you've got a lot of inertia too. So, and you seem to be having a lot of fun with it, I guess, not only with the producing side, but also, the DIY, the things with the relationships with other people. And so, I guess that you see yourself as still having that same kind of homogenous between your live streams and your producing videos.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's if I could remove the subscriber button when I have 1,200 subscribers, I would do it. And it's because I don't want to be a large channel. I don't want to have 40,000, 50,000 subscribers. This is the VanLife Rocks is more of my personal channel. This is like my lifestyle. This is the way I live. This is the way I adventure. And so I don't want to lose that connection. I don't want to ever lose a connection with my friends in the community. I want to be able to have conversations, whether it's in a live stream or in the comment section, is to be able to connect and learn from each other. And that's what I value the most. It's not the numbers for me. It's about connecting with people, connecting with friends on the road, virtually, on live streams. And that's my focus right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I see we've got about 3 minutes left, and I'd like Susan, if you would go ahead, and for Lucky Dog Productions, if you could put your link there. If you can put Ray and Tim's there, that would be cool. I don't know if we have enough time for all of those. And then for you all is that in about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes now, is when VanLife with Gina. So we want to all go over and raid her show because she's made us what we are today. And that's, I think, an hour-long show. And then, guess what? Poor Ray, man, he's going to get rode hard and put away wet before the night's over because he's got a big show. I can't wait for that. And that's when some of the truth serum comes out. It's not just drinking the green tea. It gets into a little bit more serious stuff. And so that's when we'll find out the real Ray, the unvarnished Ray, right, Ray?
I gotta recharge my batteries, get ready to go.
Well, and you probably already had your meal of the day, have you?
Yep, I already had my meal of the day, so I'm good.
Good. Tim, how about you? Anything else for you that you want to share with us, or observations you made? Give us the feedback. We've got big shoulders, so you can whack us if you want.
No, I'm kind of admiring YouTube, the way you do your video and stuff like that. But I'm too cheap to spend money to do stuff like that.
Your day will come. I mean, but it turns out that the Pareto analysis, I don't know if you heard of this guy Pareto, but he said like 80% of the benefit of what you do comes from 20% of the stuff or the money you spend. So you're better to do it just like you're doing there, brother. And I want to thank you both for taking the time. And I really enjoy this. I've been looking forward to this. And you put a pretty high bar for the rest of us and for me to keep kind of juggling this too. But I'm here for you all. So until next time, thank you very much for both being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. Okay, you also, it's time to go see VanLife with Gina for the next show if you can make it. She's like, got that super high bar for me. It's like, hey guys, and she's reading the names and everything. Someday I'll be 10% of what she is. But, I'm a guy. I'm not like a multitasker, as Grace will tell you. So thank you all for being here. I hope you have a good time. It is 6:00. As always, happy trails to you. Peace out for now. Bye-bye. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Ray.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.